dear students, welcome back once again to this video tutorial. Today we will be learning the third absolute measures of dispersion, that is mean deviation. Alright, and at the same time we'll also be learning the relative measures as well, that is the coefficient of mean deviation. So in the previous two videos we discussed the first two absolute measures of dispersion, that is range, its relative measures, quartile deviation and its coefficient of quartile deviation. So today the third absolute measures, that is mean deviation. Okay, so we will be learning about mean deviation today. That is some formulas, how to calculate mean deviation, and also we'll try to solve one sum so that you will get an idea of how to calculate the rest. Alright, so it's quite easy because we have already calculated mean in chapter 7, that is central tendency, and we know how to calculate mean in individual series, discrete series and continuous series, and in all the three methods, that is direct method, assume mean method and the step deviation method. So here while calculating mean deviation as well, there are two in the question. If you look into practical questions, you will don't get confused with the question, because there you will find questions like calculate mean deviation from mean. Okay, one question you will get it, calculate mean deviation from mean, that is MD from mean. Okay, and the other question will be calculate mean deviation, that is MD from median. So when you see this type of question, you just have to, you have to make it clear that you have to calculate median first. If it says calculate mean deviation from median, then calculate median instead of mean. All right, and if it says calculate mean, then you have to, calculate mean to find out mean deviation. Okay, the formula to calculate mean deviation for individual series, clear? That is mean deviation for individual series. Okay, individual series, the formula is mean deviation. If you see below here MD and below you see the mean sign, that means you're calculating mean deviation from mean. Clear? Mean deviation from mean is equal to sigma d by n. So here, how are we going to calculate this d, the deviation? So it's very simple. That is d is equal to x minus mean. So that is the reason why we have to calculate mean, all right, to find out deviation. Now remember in central tendency, when we calculated mean, the formula, some of the formulas there, we found out sigma FD, right? Sigma FD. So here, while we are calculating this sigma FD, this D value, we said x minus, mean value, that too same. Right, and in assume mean method we calculated x minus mean, assume mean. Sorry, yeah, this is for direct method. For assume mean method, we said we calculated x minus a, right? And for step deviation method, we calculated same as x minus a, but we took x value as the midpoint value, right? That is for continuous series. This one is for continuous series. Now I'm just giving an idea here, okay? So don't get confused now. Now coming back to mean deviation, here the deviation value, we're going to ignore the signs, all right? So for example, while calculating central tendency, if the value, for example, if the x value is say 20 and your mean value is 30, so 20 minus 30 we write at minus 10, right? However, while calculating mean deviation, we are going to omit the sign. So if we get minus 10, we're just going to write 10. We're not going to write any minus or plus sign, okay, whenever you're calculating this deviation. So we're going to follow the formula here. And similarly for, say, mean deviation from median, if you find mean deviation from median like this, then it is again same. The formula is same here. That is sigma d by n. Now here, to calculate d here, what you have to do, that is, instead of mean, you're just going to write median value. Okay, that is x minus the median value. So that is why even here we have to calculate median. If the question is asked to calculate mean deviation or median, then you have to calculate median in order to find the deviation. Okay, similarly for mean as well. Now this is individual series. Clear? Now for the discrete series, again, the formula to find out discrete series here is mean deviation by mean. The formula is sigma f d by n. So here again, earlier there is no frequency value, therefore you just write sigma d. However, in discrete series, you will also get your frequency. So you have to multiply the d value with f, deviation into f, then you will get sigma f d. Okay, so we're going to calculate once again. I'll show you how to do it in in the following questions. So again, for mean deviation from median value, similarly, it's just the same formula. It's just that in deviation, you have to, again, here, deviation x minus mean. So for this, you have to calculate mean. For this, you have to calculate median. Clear? So this is for discrete series. Now we also have continuous series, wherein the formula to find out continuous series here, mean deviation from mean is equal to sigma f d by n here. Now remember, in continuous series, you have to calculate midpoint, right? So when you calculate midpoint, so therefore to find out d, you have to use x minus mean, right? So the x value here will be your midpoint value. So you have to write x minus mean. However, just remember this x here, it's talking about midpoint, okay? So midpoint minus mean. So this is how we are going to calculate, mean deviation. Clear? Now, we also have to calculate the relative measures, that is the coefficient. So the coefficient of mean deviation is nothing but mean deviation by mean. Okay, so you have already calculated your mean deviation, and whatever value that you get here will be divided by the mean value, and therefore you will get the relative measure, that is the coefficient of MD. Okay, so this is for calculation of mean deviation from mean and its relative measures, and calculation of mean deviation from median. Here it will be your mean deviation divided by your median value. And this is how we find a coefficient of mean deviation. All right, so let's do one sum here. Please open page number 293, page 293. So here in page 293, we have already calculated question number 1, 2, and 3. Now, in question number 4, we are asked to calculate, find the mean deviation from mean for the following distribution. So here, in the following distribution here, frequency distribution, this is discrete series. Clear? So we're going to be using the discrete series formula. This formula, we will be using this formula. All right. So I've already prepared a table for us so that it becomes easy for us to, solve and without wasting much time. I'll let you know how to, calculate the sum. Just tell you how to go about. And then I want you to watch it before you start calculating it. And once you're done watching it, I want you to, write the answer by yourself. All right. So we're going to do question number 4, mean deviation from mean, from the discrete series. So here, like I said, you have to first calculate mean, right? So how do we calculate mean in discrete series? And yeah, to be very, to make it easy, although there are 3 methods to calculate mean, even in discrete series, that is direct method, assume mean method, and step deviation method. So if none of the method is mentioned there in the textbook, in the question, you can solve with any of the methods you want to. Okay, you want to solve by direct method. That's one of the easy one. You can go for it. I don't have any problem with that until unless if there is no specification. All right, if you have been told to write in a shortcut method, then you have to do it. If nothing is mentioned, then you can go for whichever convenient form. Clear? So we will be solving it in direct method. Okay. So how do we calculate mean in direct method in discrete series? So here mean is equal to sigma fx by n. So this is how we calculate mean. Okay, this is the formula to calculate mean in discrete series. So I've already made a table here. This is your x value that is given in the question. This is your frequency. So you have to find out fx, right? To find out fx, you have to multiply x into f or f into x. So 60 into 2, 120, 61 into 0, 0, 62 into 15, 930, 63 into 29, 1827, 64 into 25, 1600, 65 into 12, 780, 66 into 10, 660, 67 into 4, 268, 68 into 3, 204. So this is your calculation. Clear? So now you also have to get the sum of sigma fx, that is the sigma fx, sum of all these fx value. So if you add up all this, you get 6389. Clear? So now you have to put this value in the formula here. So it is 6389 divided by n here is the sum of the frequency. So n here is 100. So if you divide this one, you get 63.89. So this is your mean value. Clear? So now you have to find deviation. Now how do we find deviation? The formula is x minus mean. So you see the value of x here and the mean value here, right? So you have to subtract x minus the mean value, and this is how you get the deviation. So if you subtract it, 60 minus 63.89. So remember I told you, if you are to calculate deviation value, you are supposed to be writing minus 3.89 because 63 is greater than 60, right? However, when you're finding out this deviation value, in mean deviation, you have to omit this sign. So therefore, we just write 3.89, not we're not going to write this one, okay? Minus 3.89. So you see I've written all the values here. So 60 minus 63.89 will leave you 3.89. 61 minus 63.89, 2.89. 62 is again 1.89. 63.89. 64, 0.11. 65, 1.11. 66, 2.11, 67, 3.11, and 68, 4.11. So you have to subtract everything, and you will find the value of d. All right. So now we also have to find fd. Why? Because the formula to calculate our mean deviation. The formula to calculate mean deviation, it is sigma f d by n, right? So you have the f and d. So therefore we have to find out the value of f and d, the product, sorry. So if you multiply 2 into 3.89, you get 7.89. 0 into 2.89, 0. 15 into 1.89, 28.38. 35. 29 into 0.89, you get 25.81. 25 into 0.11, you get 2.75. 12 into 1.11, 13.32. 10 into 2.11, you get 21.1. 4 into 3.11, 12.44. 3 into 4.11, 12.33. So now, once you find all the product value of f and d, you have to find the sum of all this value as well. Okay, you have to add up all this value. You have to add up all this value. So this is what, let me just make it like this. Okay, that is sigma f d is equal to 123.96. So this is your value. Okay, the sum of all this. Now you have to put this in the formula. Now I'm going to clear this up because we're going to be, we're going to use this formula here. How do we find mean deviation from mean? So mean deviation from mean formula is sigma f d by n. So sigma f d, the value is 123.96. 123.96 divided by 100. So if you divide this one, you will get 1.2396. So this is your mean deviation. Okay. If you find a different answer in your textbook, if you look into your textbook, the answer is 1.115. However, we got 1.239. So since all the calculations correct, therefore the answer is also correct. All right, so you can make the changes in your textbook. There are so many mistakes in the textbooks as well. So I want you to change the answer. That is 1.2396, not 1.115. Okay, so mean deviation is correct. That is 63.89. Sorry, the mean is correct, 63.89. Our mean deviation is 1.2396. So this is how we calculate mean deviation from mean. Now, there's one more question, that is mean deviation from median, right? Mean deviation from median. That is question number 7. Now, I've already solved the question, so therefore I'm going to be, I'm just going to show you how we do it, right? So this is already a solved question here. Now, question number 7, you are asked to calculate mean deviation from median of the following series. Also find out coefficient of mean deviation. So here, all right, so I want you to just, forget this portion, all right, just a second. I want you to forget this portion for now. Okay, just forget this portion till here and just focus here. Just focus here, this tree. Clear? So now we are asked to calculate mean deviation from mean. So first, what do you have to do? This is the formula to calculate mean deviation from median. What do you have to do first? You have to find out the median value, right? So how do we find out the median value in continuous series? This is continuous series, right? So here you are given the class intervals, you are also given the frequency. So in order to calculate median, we have to find out cumulative frequency as well. So we first find out the cumulative frequency, all right? So how do we find out cumulative frequency? This one. So here you have to write first 5. After that, 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 plus 15 is 28. 28 plus 16 is 44, and 44 plus 6 is 50. So this is our CF. Now, once we find the CF, we have to find a median class. So median class is equal to n by 2 item. So n here is 50. If you sum up all the frequency, you'll get 50. And because the cumulative frequency, the sum is also 50, therefore our n is also 50. Now 50 by 2 equal to 25. So the 25th value, we have to check where this 25th value lies in cumulative frequency. So if you look here, 5, 13, 28, 44, and 50. So this 25 lies here under 28, right? So therefore, we underline this, okay? Once we underline this one, we can also write down here as median class is equal to 30 by 40 because this 28 lies here in 30 to 40 class interval, right? Now, from this, we have to find out all the values that are required in order to calculate the median. You will be needing L1. How do we find L1? L1 is lower limit. So this is our lower limit. This is our upper limit. So L1 is 30. I is a difference in the class interval. So 40 minus 30 is 10. F is the frequency. So our frequency here is 15. Our CF is the preceding value. That is the 13th. This is our CF value. And by 2 we have already calculated. That is 25. So now we put this value to find out the median, all right? How do we calculate median now? So here median is equal to L1 plus n by 2 minus CF by F into I. This is our formula to calculate median, all right? We are using all the formulas that we have practiced in question chapter 8, that is median, quartile, and a mode, right? So we know how to calculate median because we've already learned in chapter 8. So L1 is 30 plus n by 2, 25 minus 13 by 15 into 10. So this is how we calculate our median value. So our median value is 38, right? So what we're going to do with this median value, our ME is 38. So what are we going to do? We're going to put this 32 here to find D. Now remember, I told you that in continuous series, your D value, while we are calculating our D value here, X minus whatever mean or median, the X value should be midpoint. X is equal to midpoint. That is what I told you in the beginning of the session, right? So here, we're going to consider this X as midpoint. So that is why we first find out the midpoint value. Okay, so how do we calculate midpoint now? Class interval, look here. So if you add up 20 plus 10 and divide by 2, you get 15. Okay, so upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2 is 15. That is 20 plus 10, 30. 30 divided by 2, 15. Similarly, for next as well. Now, 30 plus 20, 50. 50 divided by 2, 25. 40 plus 30, 70. 70 divided by 2, 35. 50 plus 40, 90. 90 divided by 2, 45. 60 plus 50, 110. 110 divided by 2, 55. So this is how we find out our midpoint. Now, once we're done with calculating midpoint, we have to find out the deviation. So to find out deviation, we have to find X minus midpoint, median. So our X here is midpoint. So 15 minus median, that is 38. So 15 minus 38 is 23. Remember, we are going to omit the minus sign. Okay, so we're not writing minus anywhere. 15 minus 38 is 23. 15 minus 38 is 13. 25 minus 38 is 13. 35 minus 38 is 3. 45 minus 38 is 7. 55 minus 38 is 17. So you find out the D value, deviation value. Lastly, you find out FD, that is frequency into deviation. So 5 into 23 will give 115. 8 into 25, sorry, 8 into 13, it is already written here. 8 into 13, 104. 15 into 3, right? 45. 16 into 7, 112. 6 into 17, 102. So now once you find out all this value, you have to find out the sum. That is, add up all this value. So if you add up all this value, how much are you getting? 478. I missed out one figure here. 478 is your value. Okay, so if you add up all this, 115, 104, 45, 112, 102, then you get 478. So now you have to put this in a formula. Mean deviation from median is equal to sigma FD by N. We got FD is equal to 478. We know the value of N, it is 50. So if we divide, you get 9.56. Clear? Now, the coefficient. Coefficient of mean deviation from median, MD by ME. That is 9.56 divided by 38. That is the median value, is equal to 0.25. Again, there is a correction that needs to be done in your notebook. That is, it is supposed to be 9.56, but however, in your textbook it is given 12.948. So please correct it. It should be 9.56. All right. And your coefficient, it should be 0.25. In your textbook, it is given 0.236. All right. So these are the two methods to calculate a mean deviation from mean and mean deviation from median. So we have already solved two questions. That is question number 4 and question number 7. So there's one question left for you to try it out. All right. That is question number 5. So question number 5, that is mean deviation from mean. Okay, is your homework. Question number 5, mean deviation from mean, is your homework. And remember, I'll just give you a hint of how to do it. All right. So here, question number 5, homework. Okay, that is page number 294. Practical questions from the textbook. So you have to calculate mean deviation from mean. So MD by mean is equal to sigma FD by N. Now look into your textbook first. All right. The question here, the series is continuous series. So you have to find out the midpoint. Remember, midpoint. How do you find out midpoint? Upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. Okay, the first one I'll just do it. It says class interval 0 to 3. So 3 plus 0 divided by 2. 3 by 2, 1.5 is your midpoint. The first one. The second one, similarly, you can calculate the rest. Okay, and remember, to find out mean, you can use the direct method, that is sigma Fm by N. Here again, you will have to multiply the frequency and the midpoint, which you have just calculated. And you can find out the mean. Clear? Once you find out the mean, it will be easy for you to calculate deviation, that is x minus mean. Now here x, you're going to use what? Midpoint. All right, so this is your homework. Clear? So all the best, and I'll see you again in the next video.